When Zuko is exiled and sent to chase the Avatar at the age of 13, he would call you insane if you had said to him that one day he would be the Avatar's friend. Yet, that is exactly what happens. By the end of the series, they're not just friends, they're best friends. In The Legend of Korra, when Korra cannot connect with Aang or any of the past avatars, but she still wants help, Uncle Iroh in the spirit world instructs her to go to Zuko, as no one was closer to Aang than Zuko. How did this happen? How did such a drastic transformation occur? Why does Aang decide to give another chance to the person who spent the entirety of Season 1 trying to kill him? And why does Season 3 Zuko work so hard to earn the trust of Aang, even though Season 1 Zuko saw him as nothing but a prize to give to his father in order to restore his honor? Let's investigate. Aang toys with Zuko when they first meet in episode 2 of the show, The Avatar Returns. It is true that he is friendly to Zuko, but that's more because he's friendly to everyone. Compared to the rest of Team Avatar, Aang is extremely optimistic and cheery. True, he can get frustrated at times, and he's prone to fits of anger, but he's still something of a Pollyanna. Regardless of how things become, Aang still believes in himself, and he still believes in others. He believes in the power of good triumphing over evil. When Zuko mocks this over-optimism of Aang near the show's finale by suggesting that they could turn the Fire Lord good again by showing him his baby pictures, Aang actually buys it and believes it's a real strategy. That's who Aang is. But these are jokes told between two people who know each other and are comfortable with each other. These are two people who can joke around a bit because they know the bond between them is strong. This was not the case at the start of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Even the potential for that to happen is only really revealed in episode 113, The Blue Spirit. This is widely considered to be one of the greatest episodes of the relatively uneven Season 1, and for once the popular consensus is correct. Katara and Sokka are terribly sick after enduring the storm in episode 112, so Aang goes off to fetch medicine for them, but while doing so, he is captured by the newly promoted Admiral Zhao. This is downright terrible news for Zuko, and he despairs over it. If Zhao captures the Avatar and gains all the glory, then Zuko cannot redeem his honor by taking the Avatar back to his father and getting back his rightful place on the throne. Zuko knows that the only option for him to capture Aang is to free him from Zhao, so that's what he does. He dons the disguise of the Blue Spirit and sneaks into the place where Aang is being held and frees him. This is relatively simple morally, but from here it gets a lot more morally complicated. They escape together, Aang and Zuko. Zhao does not like what has happened, of course, but he wants to be careful. He does not want to kill the Avatar. So he carefully has his archers knock out Zuko so he can try to capture Aang. Aang gets away, but he decides not to leave Zuko to be captured. This is a big thing. When Zuko is knocked out, Aang takes off the mask and he sees it is Zuko. He sees it as the person who has tried to capture him again and again throughout the first half of Season 1. But Aang still decides to help him. Later, they're in the forest, light is streaming in. Through the trees, Zuko awakes, and Aang is unusually contemplative, and he makes Zuko an offer of friendship. But this is too weird for Zuko. He's still so committed to the quest he's been on, so he rejects this offer, and he attacks Aang instead. But even after Aang leaves, Zuko stares out into the distance. It's impossible to know exactly what he's thinking, but that's not the look of a man who's excited and proud of what he did. He's still considering Aang's offer, and he's still considering what happened to him. We're left in the dark a little about what his intentions really are. Was it just purely practical that he decided to free Aang just so he could capture him himself? Or was there more going on? Does he actually feel some sort of bond toward Aang? They did work very well in battle against Zhao's soldiers. Is there hope for them to become close friends? This is all flowing through Zuko's mind. Now, getting your hero to work together with the character who's ostensibly your villain is a crowd-pleasing moment every time, but the reason it works here narratively, and it's not just pandering, is the framing. This episode comes immediately after episode 112, The Storm, which nicely parallels the stories of Aang and Zuko. They're not as different as they originally think. They enjoyed relatively peaceful childhoods before antagonizing those around them, resulting in them leaving and traveling the world and losing track of those they had formerly cared about. They try desperately to correct the mistakes they've made. Now, obviously, they are different people with different perspectives on what they've endured, and Zuko's decision to speak out against his father, the decision that got him banished, was actually morally correct. So again, you can't say their stories are exact copies of each other, but the strong parallel is there and it is intentional. They both suffer from this sense of displacement. They've both lost touch with people they loved. They both lost touch with their old identities. And because we know these similarities, the bond that grows between them in episode 113, The Blue Spirit, does not just come out of nowhere for the audience, even if it comes out of nowhere for the characters. It's not just pandering, it's thematically resonant. After establishing the thematic parallels between the story of Aang and the story of Zuko, the show demonstrates in this fight how well the two of them can work together, how they can kind of be on the same frame of mind. Zuko does not talk to Aang in the entirety of the episode, not when he's in the Blue Spirit disguise and not afterward. But the connection between them is clear regardless. They still manage to defeat all those Fire Nation baddies together. That they are so close, and that they can connect on this very personal level, make Zuko's betrayal at the end of the episode sting a lot harder. But why does Aang even want Zuko to be his friend? Why does he extend this offer of friendship to him? We still have not yet answered that question. It's not because he empathizes with Zuko's struggle. He can't. He doesn't know that struggle. We, the audience, know the stories of Aang and Zuko are relatively similar, but Aang and Zuko do not know this. Is it because Aang just wants to be friends with everyone, just because he is that kind of person? Well, that's part of it, but it goes a lot further than that. Think about what Aang says at the end of episode 306, The Avatar and the Fire Lord, after Avatar Roku has already revealed to him the old secrets of the relationship between Roku himself and Sozin, and how Sozin betrayed him. Toph states that it's like the people in the Fire Nation are just born bad, but Aang very vehemently disagrees, saying that the story instead proves that everyone, even the Fire Lord and the people of the Fire Nation, need to be given a chance. They're worth caring about. And the show largely agrees with him on this. I wouldn't say Aang is necessarily the voice of the creators on all matters, and I do enjoy how they allow him to be wrong sometimes, or at least in a sort of moral gray area. Such as when he decides to leave Team Avatar in the last 4 episodes of the show, because he's so committed to defeating the Fire Lord without killing him, even though doing this leaves Team Avatar in total disarray. Or, in an example that reflects even worse on him, think about episode 301, The Awakening, in which Aang swears off the idea of having other people help him defeat the Fire Lord, and just goes off to defeat the Fire Lord himself, and as a result of this, he nearly dies. But here, in this one specific case, he is absolutely voicing the opinion of the show. Avatar, the show, believes, just like Aang, that people are worth giving a chance. Now, that does not mean you should be a quixotic idiot and trust people who obviously don't deserve that trust, nor should you be Pollyanna-ish and believe that absolutely everyone will change if they're just given the right encouragement. But it does mean that you should not believe change is impossible. The relationship between Aang and Zuko only becomes as strong as it does because of what that relationship means for them both. For Zuko, it means separating himself from his past, from the expectations and dictates of his family, and just starting a new life for himself. Many of his strongest relationships on this show, whether with Katara or with his uncle, are with people that he did not initially respect because he was so committed to this false image of himself foisted upon him by his parents and the Fire Nation state. He was young and naive and clinging to a false image of himself. For Aang, the relationship with Zuko means something similar. It represents that he was right about how people can and do change for the better, and about how believing in the innate goodness of mankind is not necessarily a mistake. Because of Zuko, he not only masters firebending, he masters his own fears and anxieties. He masters everything that was holding him back in the past. He's finally able to let go of that. That trauma is finally able to be assuaged. Zuko, in the second half of Season 3, functions as a sort of older brother figure for Aang. Someone to tease, sure, but also someone confident and self-assured and worth respecting. Someone who can get on your nerves, but can also give helpful advice when he wants to. Aang appreciates this friendship with Zuko, but more than that, he appreciates what it represents. People who started off their lives as enemies can end up becoming not just friends, but people who can build a warmer, more compassionate, and better world together. And this excites him, just like it excites the show itself. That's what this show is about, the possibility of not just people coming together, but people coming together based on a shared desire to be better and to build a better world. So thank y'all for watching. If you liked what you saw today, don't forget to like and comment and subscribe. Donate to my Patreon if you can and you want to see more videos like this. Keep watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. It is a mature and thoughtful show that really delves into the psychology of what words like forgiveness and redemption really mean. They're words with pathos here. They're not just empty catchphrases. The show really takes them seriously. So anyway, tune in soon for my next analysis. It will be coming soon, I promise you that. Thank you all again. Adios, comrades.